Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Goal MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Floyo, Michael Bullock, and Dee Woodson. I must do some apologizing, guys. First off, on Wednesday night, I had issues that was beyond my control, and I was unable to do the show. And last night, I was just not feeling good. I wasn't feeling well. So I was unable to do college football Thursday. So I apologize for missing both shows. I want to thank Anthony Florio for doing an incredible job filling in for me on Wednesday night as it pertains to Wednesday Night Mayhem. However, I know a lot of people were talking about Wednesday Night Mayhem and was wondering my thoughts about it. I'll do that here tonight on this show. What I'll do is I'll have Anthony Florio give me the matches like he was the host, and I'll give you my thoughts on everything. Just like we did on Wednesday night. I hope, Anthony, you did it the same way as I instructed you to do it. NXT first, AEW second.
Of course I did.
Okay, my friend, we will do it that way. So that will be kind of our versions of the Mikey's mindset. Anthony will help me out with that, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. However, we are going to do tonight is start off with what we always love to do, Smackdown Live from the Thunderdome. First off, as many of you guys know, over the week, we did witness a passing of Mr. Pat Patterson, one of the all-time greats in WWE history, the first and inaugural Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion of our industry. This man was a pioneer. He was a revolutionary. He was responsible for the Royal Rumble, as you guys know. It was his brainchild. It was his baby. Back in 1988, when he brought the Royal Rumble to our world, and that has become one of the biggest events of the year. And the Royal Rumble match has become one of the marquee events in WWE history. So, for me, Pat Patterson was an incredible individual, a legend of the industry, and for that, we commend you, sir, and we thank you for everything that you did for the world of professional wrestling. We're going to miss you. We love you, Pat. Rest in paradise, my friend. Thank you. With that said, we started it off with Universal Champion Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, and Paul Heyman was interrupted by Kevin Owens. Caleb Braxton was doing the interview. This was a great segment of the night for me. This was a great way to jump off the show. Roman absolutely was the star of this segment. His promo work, everything he's been doing lately, ever since he turned heel, has been exponentially amazing. One of the best ever. I love it. There's really nothing bad to say about his body of work. Anthony Floyo, come on in, my friend. If you want to talk about a great way to start SmackDown Live, this was it.
Amen to that, man. Amen to that. And before I start, I just want to say, good to have you back, MF. We missed you the last couple of nights. I'm glad that all is well with you and that you're back on with us. I mean, these shows aren't the same without you, but we did our best with it, and that's all that matters. And I'll set you up for the Wednesday stuff at the end. But let's not forget, we also have Takeover War Games to get into as well, because that goes down this Sunday night on the WWE Network. And
that's right. And we're definitely going to get into that tonight as well. Yes,
sir. So, but you left something out, MF. Something very noticeable. Kevin Owens issued a challenge to Roman Reigns for a tables, ladders, and chairs match for the Universal Championship at the TLC pay-per-view. And I can now confirm that it is official. We will see Roman Reigns defend the Universal Championship against Kevin Owens in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. Oh my. That's all there is to say on that. As far as the segment goes, MF, you're absolutely right. This was indeed the segment of the night. Jey Uso's reactionary acceptance Kevin Owens' attempted goading of Roman Reigns into losing his cool, and the head of the table's continued even-keeled demeanor in the face of confrontation helped make this a strong start to Friday Night SmackDown. Everything Reigns and Uso have touched has been gold for the last 3 months, while Owens elevates every segment he is part of. While it would have been nice to see Reigns and Owens have more time to build a genuine feud, their match at TLC is shaping up to be the show stealer, especially taking into consideration the bar they have set for themselves with their previous encounter. Need I remind you of the awesome Universal title match they had at the 2017 Royal Rumble? I mean, one of the many highlights of that incredible show at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. But anyways, a very strong start indeed. This was the segment of the night, and that's all there is to it. So, Phenom, Michael Bullock, come on in. Coming off of an abbreviated SmackDown chat, we didn't get to see this part, but what did you think about this anyway? I mean, segment of the night for us.
Oh yeah, this was definitely the segment of the night. I mean, and like you said, I mean, this is why. I mean, Roman Reigns right now is the best heel going in WWE today. Whatever him and Jey Uso do, it turns to gold, like you said. And yeah, and there was no question about it that he was going to accept the challenge of Kevin Owens for the Universal title in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. So it definitely sets the stage for what we see later on tonight. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, definitely a segment of the night. Definitely a very good way to start off SmackDown, and a good way to start getting some momentum into TLC. As you know, we're only a few weeks away from that. They've kind of been setting up different scenarios that we could have had, and here, we finally got Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. They're going to lock it up in the traditional TLC, and I think it's going to be really great to see that happen. So, not much more I'm going to add. Definitely segment of the night. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, and we actually move on along to the first fight of the evening, as it was Natalya going one-on-one with Bayley, and Natalya gets an upset victory over the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion ever. She knocks her off in 6 minutes and 5 seconds, and I don't know, Anthony. It seems like Bayley got preoccupied by one EST of WWE, Bianca Belair.
Yep.
And it proved to be the downfall for the role model, as the Queen of the Black Heart gets an upset victory over Bayley here tonight.
Via the sharpshooter. I mean, she made Bayley tap. So, yeah, Bayley's been doing a lot of that lately. I mean, she tapped out to Sasha at Hell in a Cell, and that's how she coughed up the SmackDown Women's Championship after 380 days. But it's definitely been a rough little bit of time for Bayley there. I could probably give this about 2 to 2.25 stars for the effort. I mean, WWE took a page out of AEW's playbook for the worse, as the majority of this women's division match occurred during the commercial break. That's a major disappointment, given the talent in the ring and Bianca Belair's opportunity to establish her personality on the mic. The lack of actual screen time, not to mention storyline development, hurt this one exponentially. The bright spot? Bayley versus Bianca Belair, whenever they do it, is going to be awesome. It's going to rule. So that's all I can say on this. So 2 to 2.25 stars. That's the best I can go for this. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, I guess we could say, in a sense, somewhat of a ho-hum diva fight almost.
Yeah, I would say that it was the resemblance of a typical ho-hum diva fight. 2 to 2.25 stars for me. And yeah, I mean, for the role model, it's been a pretty much of a bumpy road for her lately. And I mean, it all started off with losing the title at Hell in a Cell. and then getting eliminated at Survivor Series, and now this. And here's another thing, guys. Sunday on Tribute to the Troops, the same two that faced off tonight, they're going to be tag team partners at Tribute to the Troops when they take on the SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. How the hell are they going to get along?
Yeah, that's a very, very interesting situation. Check your local listings for a date and for the date and the channel
It's
in
going to
your
be on
region.
Fox.
It will be on Fox. However,
on Sunday.
It's going to be on Sunday. However, we do not know when on Sunday because remember there is
4:30, I
NFL
heard.
action. Well, not necessarily.
Here.
For us, it's going to be 4:30.
Yes.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to start on time. Remember, this is Fox though. So remember, there's a post game wrap and everything else. So I would say about 4:30 ish, 5 o'clock ish on Sunday is Tribute to the Troops. However, if you got an early game, if you got a late game, then obviously, if you got a late game in your area, it starts at 3 o'clock local time. If you got an early game, then it's immediately after the early game action in your region. So for you West Coast fans, it could be about maybe it will happen after your late game, which is 1 o'clock local, 4 o'clock. So after that is going to be when you get your Tribute to the Troops. But if you're in the East Coast or the Central Time Zone, very crucial to watch your times. It could be an early start where if the game starts at 4:25, you'll get it at 3 o'clock. If your game starts at 1 o'clock, then the show starts immediately after the game. That's why we say check your local listings for date and time because it will happen on Sunday.
Yeah, so they really need time to. They don't have much time to try to. Well, like I said, I don't know how they're going to work together, so we'll find out. But yeah, 2.25 stars. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
I can probably give it 2 stars. It was okay. I mean, it's not the greatest match in the world for the ladies, but it definitely went back in time to the ho hum diva type fights. So yeah, I'm not gonna add too much more. I mean, it wasn't the best in the world. So it's yours, Fletch.
2 stars definitely, but it did talk about the storyline. And it was storyline progression. I think that's the best way to say it. Was it the best match in the world? Absolutely not. But I am very happy with the outcome. I'm very happy that Natalya gets a big win because she needed it. But it prolongs the storyline that is Bianca Belair versus Bayley. I think that's the ultimate hit here. The ultimate home run we got. Other than that, fine by me. It's all good. All right. So, with that said, we're going to move right on along. 6-man tag team fight. Rey Mysterio, Big E, and Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode. When it was all said and done... Well, hold on. Because I saw something that said Nakamura. So, I want to make sure I got this right. All right.
Nakamura was in the match, yes.
So who was the odd man out then?
No, this was a 6-man tag team match. This was done to pay tribute to Pat Patterson.
Okay.
This was known as a My Way or something, like Frank Sinatra's My Way.
I remember because this was honoring 6 former Intercontinental champions, right?
Yes, Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, and Big E versus the current champion Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Dolph Ziggler.
All right. Then that's why I wanted to make sure because ProWrestling.net has Robert Roode here, not Nakamura. So that's why I wanted to make sure that I got it right. So all right, so it was Ziggler, Nakamura, and Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan, Big E, and Rey Mysterio. But at the end of the day, the Faces wins the match in 11 minutes and 30 seconds as Daniel Bryan pins Sami Zayn. Guys, I think we can say it.
Championship committee moment.
You got it. Daniel should get another opportunity at the title. The Yes Man gets the win. And Mike Bullock, you lead off.
It's only appropriate that I lead it off since I am a member of the Yes movement. So yeah, I'll give this about maybe 3, maybe 3.25. I mean, this was definitely a good match, no doubt about it. And yeah, now that Daniel Bryan has pinned the champ, I think we, like you said, we definitely have ourselves that championship committee moment, and I think I know where it's going to go down. Tables, ladders, and chairs. You're going to see Sami Zayn defend the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship against the Yes Man himself, Daniel Bryan. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with the rating. And it was definitely good to see Daniel pin Lame Duck Boy as now, like Fledge said, we got the champion committee moment. So I don't see any reason why they won't put them together in a match for the title. So I'm not going to say much more. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, no, this is confirmed. This is going to happen now. Daniel Bryan now is eligible to get another shot at Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title. He should get another shot at this. Sami tried to run out on Daniel a week ago, or did run out on Daniel, and if it wasn't for what he did, and if it wasn't for that, I think Daniel would have gotten a victory over Sami Zayn. He was well on his way from doing it. Sami ran out of the ring, ran into Gorilla, then ran back just in time for the count of 10 and snuck his way to victory after we found out that Jey Uso jumped him. That Jey Uso got his hands on Daniel Bryan and beat the living daylights out of him. So that cost them the fight. That's why everything went wrong, and Daniel lost the match. Now Daniel got a big win here. That now gives him yet more momentum, but more importantly, this solidifies him as number one contender for the Intercontinental title. Now, we could have said Big E could have been in the mix, and he definitely is in the mix because he definitely wants a shot at Sami Zayn. You can make an argument, maybe. Hold on. You could even make an argument for Rey Mysterio to get in there as well, but I think Rey is gonna probably would let Daniel and Big E get their shot first because he probably feels like they're the most worthy and they deserve the opportunity more than anything else. Daniel now solidifies himself as number one contender and definitely deserves the opportunity. Big E is waiting in the wings. Now, I know Anthony Fleo says that he feels that Big E right now will be a contender down the line, and maybe Big E will get a shot maybe at WrestleMania. I don't think Big E is looking at Universal title right now. Unfortunately, Anthony, I got to disagree with you on that. Now, based off the storyline that I'm thinking, I think it's going to end up being maybe Jey Uso again, going after Roman Reigns for the Universal title after everything that's been going on. So I think it's going to be Jey Uso, and there might be a passing of the torch on that night. But as far as the Intercontinental title goes, you got a number of contenders now. And Sami Zayn, I hope you're resourceful. I hope you're sneaky and everything else. Because now you got not one contender, you got two guys breathing down your neck. 3.5 is my rating. Fight of the night for me. Anthony, it's yours.
Definitely. As I mentioned, this was a one off, a tribute to Pat Patterson. This one to Frank Sinatra's My Way, and that's what it was here. It is 3.5 stars. I mean, rated as a traditional match. This very obviously lacked a heat segment to really tie everything together. Limited for time and determined to pay homage to Pat Patterson, his love of a good finish and crowd pleasing spots. Said heat segment was expendable in the name of hitting all of the high notes. Dolph Ziggler paid tribute to Pat Patterson with his antics after the match. Daniel Bryan earned a win over Zayn to reignite their rivalry over the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, and Big E was allowed to show off in his renewed singles push. Taking the circumstances into consideration, it is difficult to argue that this didn't really do exactly what it set out to, but it was a fun match, though. It was the fight of the night, no question about it. And he won it with a small package. It's not often we see it, but we got it. So very cool. So agree, Daniel Bryan. I think it'll be him and Sami Zayn at TLC, and I'll take it a step further. I wouldn't be surprised if they make that a ladder match. Look out. There's another show stealer right there. So don't be surprised if they do that, because remember, this is tables, ladders, and chairs. We usually get a TLC match. We already got that with Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns with the Universal title. We need a tables match. A match in mind for that. I also have a match in mind for chairs, and I also have a match in mind for ladder, and I think this would be a match. So we'll see, but solid 3.5 stars. Fight of the night, no question about it. So Lame Duck Man got his. So, and remember, Sami Zayn close ties to Pat Patterson, because remember, the night Sami Zayn won the NXT Championship, who was in there celebrating with him and all the other superstars?
Pat Patterson, absolutely. Yes, I remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I say more.
Yeah.
3.5 stars, fight of the night, MF. Let's move on.
All right. Then we had a little bit of some craziness. We had Sasha Banks and Carmella split screen. A nice little exchange between the two ladies. Then we had ourselves a one-on-one match. So we had Murphy along with Rey Mysterio, Dominic, and Aaliyah, and King Corbin, but this time he had backup. Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake. Anthony? Isn't that who I think it is?
Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake, the Forgotten Sons.
You got it. They're back.
That's who they were. Bullock and I had just started our Smackdown chat at this point. We had an abbreviated chat because Bullock had plans.
Yeah.
But Bullock,
Yeah, right after the show, I checked, and then it was those two.
Wow. Okay. I didn't even know. I'm glad MF cleared it up.
Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake, the Forgotten Sons, are back on SmackDown Live. Now remember, these guys were there, but if you remember, there was a little bit of some controversy, and it wasn't because of anything that these two guys did. It was their manager, if you remember. Anthony, you can help me out on this, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was Jackson Riker, aka Gunner from Impact Wrestling.
Jackson Riker caused a hornet's nest, made some anti-Semitic comments that got poor Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake off WWE. Jackson Riker made some very discouraging comments that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I think it was definitely inflammatory, but they were pulled off just for protection and just for the merit of it. They are back. It looks like they're going to be running with King Corbin, and Corbin wins the match tonight. King Corbin wins the match. End of days on Murphy for the 1, 2, 3. 10 minutes and 30 seconds, and Didi Woodson, it is all yours. Dee Dee?
Edie, are you there?
She might be busy. Or she
Yeah.
probably can't hear us.
Hmm.
All right. I guess I'll take it for a spin. Look, I'm gonna say this. This was pretty good. This was a very interesting situation. Solid match. And look, I get it. Look, I'm gonna say it. A lot of people got a lot broke down in this. I'm glad that I'm very glad that Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake are on SmackDown. They deserve the opportunity. What Jackson Riker did, basically doing some very political stuff on social media, that's what got them in big time trouble. And that's why I think everything went down the way it did. Obviously, WWE felt like they couldn't put the Forgotten Sons or bring them out because of the fact that they didn't want the backlash. And I get it. But I'm glad that maybe they found a running partner with Baron Corbin. King Corbin and the Forgotten Sons are going to be a very strong trio now. And with Corbin, you got a mouthpiece, a loudmouth, just like Jackson Riker is. But I know he probably will be more of a company guy and won't bring politics into the fray that Jackson Riker did. So this is a perfect partnership. This is a perfect union. And look, it's going to develop the storyline and it's going to keep the storyline going. We all remember what happened last week. We all remember how the Mysterio family were getting involved in Baron Corbin's business, and I called them out. And justifiably so, me being right on calling them out for the way that they were cheating in the fight. Now, you had Wesley Blake and you had Wesley Blake and you had Steve Cutler, and they kind of pulled the rug out and they attacked Rey Mysterio. They attacked Dom at ringside. Murphy tried to save Rey and Dominic from a surefire beatdown and walked right into an end of days. So even though Baron Corbin didn't, it wasn't like a blatant cheat, but it was still cheating nonetheless. He one-upped on the Mysterios because of what happened last week. What the Forgotten Sons did was basically they neutralized the Mysterios. Murphy was like, what the hell? Next thing you know, kaboom! Got caught with end of days. And normally when you get caught with the end of days, 9 times out of 10, you're not getting up. And unfortunately, poor Aaliyah had to watch her father, her brother, and her boyfriend all get laid out right at ringside. Bad situation. This is getting interesting. I like this. And it's a good thing that the Forgotten Sons are in the storyline now. I'm very optimistic and I'm very excited to see where this goes. Nothing more to say. Anthony Floyo, it's all yours. I'm gonna give this about 2 3/4 to 3 stars, maybe 3 1/4. This was a pretty good fight for me.
Yeah, that's about right. Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake shaving and moving on from the Forgotten Sons is the very best thing that could happen to their careers. They are talented competitors who got caught up in some controversy and saw their futures called into question. Back now, they have the opportunity to add to Corbin's act while enhancing an already solid tag team division. While Corbin versus Murphy may not be particularly flashy, it keeps both men busy, and the profile of the Mysterio storyline elevates it beyond what it would have been otherwise. They have solid enough chemistry and will likely deliver a quality match without a commercial break right in the middle to hurt the flow. I think a 6-man tag team match should not be out of the question either. maybe we could see these 6 in a 6-man tag, perhaps at TLC. We'll see Corbin, Cutler, and Blake squaring off against Ray and Dominic Mysterio and Buddy Murphy. MF, is that something you'd be interested in?
It would be something I'd be interested in. However, I believe this deserves to be a pre-show fight. I think this would be a pre-show fight. I wouldn't call it a main card fight just because of the fact that I don't think there's enough of there's not enough of an emphasis for a match like this to be on a main card. I could see this as a pre-show fight. If it does make it to the main card, this would literally be one of the first fights of the night. I don't think this should be anywhere in like middle or main event area. I could see this being like a first fight or maybe a second fight of the night.
Agreed. So I'm just throwing it because that's what I. So but I definitely MF's. I'm gonna go towards 2.5 to 3. That's what I'm leaning towards. So about 2.5 to 3 for my taste. So not much more to say. So Bullock, you and I, we had an abbreviated Smackdown chat this evening, and this is where it was right around this point that we finally got underway. And you and I kept wondering, who are these guys? You remember, I kept asking you, who the hell are these guys? But now MF just cleared it up. Cutler and Blake all along. Wow.
Yeah, so it looks like they are back. So yeah, I can't wait to see what happens now with them. So yeah, I'll go 2.5 to 3 as well for the match here. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Did Dee Woodson talk about it yet?
No, because she was on. She said she'll be right back. Something must be going on.
All right, well, I'll give it to her now.
Yep, so with that said, we're just going to move right on along. Well, after that, there was a backstage segment with the Street Profits, and all of a sudden, Robert Roode and Cesaro came out, and they were talking about, getting title shots for their respective teams. Cesaro and Nakamura, and I believe Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. And it looked like both the guys were talking, there was a little bit of some jacking going on. So, I don't know, fellas, maybe a possible triple threat for the SmackDown Tag Team titles? I mean,
you know what? I'm going to take back a thought here. I was thinking maybe Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan in the ladder match. I changed my mind. I think these 3 in a ladder match if it's going to be these 3 teams, Street Profits, Roode and Ziggler, and Nakamura and Cesaro. Could you imagine these 3 teams in a ladder match for those tag team titles? How would that be?
Oh my God, that'd be insane. That would be nuts. And Ziggler is a high flyer. He would do some crazy stuff. Nakamura, I don't know. He never really's done ladder matches. Cesaro has. So I know the Swiss Superman's got something up his sleeve. But put the Street Profits in there, especially Angelo Dawkins. Oh my God. No, not Dawkins. Montez Ford. I don't know. That's gonna be nuts. That's gonna be wild if they do that. But I kind of believe Sammy and Daniel should be. I don't know. I disagree with you, Anthony. I think the Intercontinental has more prestige and more honor. I think that match should be the ladder match because if you really think about it, the greatest Intercontinental title fights in the history of the company has been in the ladder match. Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, twice they did it. SummerSlam 1995, WrestleMania 10, Triple H and The Rock, SummerSlam Highway to Hell in Madison Square Garden was a ladder match for the Intercontinental title. I kind of feel like Intercontinental title fights in ladder matches are more amazing. There's something about those matches that just, I don't know, they elevate themselves on that.
This is true, but the point I make is we just had an Intercontinental ladder match back at the Clash of the Champions pay-per-view, the one that Sami Zayn won.
That's true. I mean,
would they want to do that? I mean, it might be a little too soon, so that's why I'm throwing out the idea of possibly doing the tag team titles as the ladder match. Just saying.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see. And plus, Sammy and Daniel are no spring chickens either. And I know they probably are not. Well, we'll see. Is Daniel and Sammy willing to take that brutality again in a ladder match? But you got some young guys in Dawkins, and you got some grizzled young veterans, and you got some young guys in the tag team division. I mean, why not elevate them into the fight? We'll see. All right, main event on SmackDown Live tonight: a tag team match. Otis and Kevin Owens going up against Jey Uso and Roman Reigns, and it was Kevin Owens and Otis winning the match via disqualification at 11 minutes and 25 seconds because of the fact that Kevin Owens, well, Owens got the stunner on Jey Uso. However, Roman Reigns broke up the pin, put him on the guillotine choke, and basically refused to let him go. The referee counted a 5. Roman refused to let him go. You know what that means? Bell! Ring the bell. Fight's over. Get out of here. Fight's thrown out. But then a beatdown ensued by Roman Reigns as, well, first he instructed Jey Uso to beat the living daylights out of Kevin Owens, which he did. Then Roman turned his attention on Jey Uso for probably not following his orders or not doing the job right. What the hell? Goddamn, Roman. So, this was crazy. Good match. Ending kind of stunk. But the beatdown after? Oh my God. Holy crap. Alright, so, Dee Woodson, now that you're back, we're gonna do a little rapid fire for you, my dear. We're gonna start off with the Baron Corbin versus Murphy match. Corbin wins the match in 10 minutes and 30 seconds.
Good.
Sorry.
Anything with Corbin I don't like. But the match I guess was okay. I'll give it probably about 1.5 to 2 stars. But yeah, it was good to see the two guys from Forgotten Sons, but I'm not crazy about the Corbin match, no.
All right, well, that's the only thing you really had to cover because the other match was just the main event. We did talk briefly about, it looks like we might have a triple threat tag team title match sometime down the line, but so yeah, we're going to let you lead off on the main event then. Kevin Owens and Otis wins the match via disqualification in 11 minutes and 25 seconds over Roman Reigns and Jey Uso.
I'm going to give it probably about 3 stars. I thought this was a pretty good match. It definitely showcased Roman's heel very well. I mean, being late coming out on Roman time, making Jey face these two big men by himself for a little bit. I mean, but of course, after the match, you had the beatdown of Kevin Owens, and then Roman turns and beats down his own cousin. And the way it's setting up, it sounds like, KO's right. He is manipulating his cousin. He is trying to control the situation. He is trying to use Jey for his own agenda. And I think most of us pretty much kind of knew that was going to happen anyway with the way the situation and storyline was going. So yeah, I mean, this was I thought a pretty good match. They did a good job. Definitely was good enough to keep the interest going through it. And yeah, with I'm not upset that this was a disqualification match or anything. It was good. So it came out in the end to be what it needed to be. So a good way to end SmackDown. So it's yours, Fletch.
3 stars, totally agree. Good main event. Really not. I think everybody played their parts so well. I mean, there was really nothing bad about anything that happened on this show. So, yeah, 3 stars for me. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, go.
Yeah, solid 3 stars. Kevin Owens pushed and poked and prodded Roman Reigns until the tribal chief responded with a vicious assault, then further took out his frustrations and anger on his own cousin. The not-so-veiled threats he made to Owens' family were a nice touch, particularly as he took exception to KO trying to pull his family apart. Best of all was Reigns earlier in the night claiming he wouldn't take matters into his own hands because a lady was present, then proceeding to beat the hell out of everyone while female fans watched. It was yet another example of Reigns speaking out of both sides of his mouth, something all great heels do to varying degrees of success. Right now, he is completely owning this character to tremendous effect. Solid 3-star match. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3 stars for me as well. I mean, yeah, what can you say? This was a yeah. I mean, what Roman's doing. I mean, like I said, is definitely his best work. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So Fletch, let's get to overall thoughts.
This was a very good SmackDown Live. I really think SmackDown has really hit this stride right now. I think now I'm not calling it the SmackDown of 2017 because those SmackDowns week after week after week were dominating. They were killing Monday Night Raw. Um, we're not destroying Raw, not by any stretch of the imagination, but we are better than them right now. Our shows have better quality, better pacing, better action. We're delivering where Raw is not. I think SmackDown Live has really gone back to the formula. Storyline progression, making matches relevant, and bringing something to the table that a lot of people don't would like. First, the promo with Roman Reigns at the beginning of the night with Caleb Braxton and with Jay and Paul Heyman, with the Uce, with Kevin Owens. Great. That's exactly what you wanted. A nice hook, a nice push. We got everything that we needed. Great way to start the show off. We also got a solid we also had a solid storyline progression with the women, with Bayley and with Bianca Belair, through the expense of Natalya, which was a pretty good match, solid fight. Then we had, a great tribute to Pat Patterson by giving us 6 former Intercontinental champions in a triple threat match, which really was a good fight. Yeah, I get it, there was no heat, no whatever, but the outcome made storyline progression, gave us a championship committee moment, and also told us a great story on at the base of it. Then you had Corbin with Murphy, a rematch from last week, but the reintroduction of the Forgotten Sons with Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake. They're back. Now they can align with Corbin. That puts the Mysterio family and them 3 on a collision course. We got that. Then you get the payoff at the end of the night with the main event. Obviously, SmackDown definitely did really well with the small parts that they needed to, and they filled the 2 hours very comfortably, I believe, at the end of the night. 7.5 out of 10 for me. This was a very good show. Well done, SmackDown Live. This is why I love doing your show each and every Friday night. This is one of the reasons why the Cerebral Smack Talk is on the air, because of stuff like this. This was a solid show. I don't think there's any argument with that. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, this was a solid show tonight. Everything was paced perfectly. Quality matches. We only had one. We only had like one really bad match on this show, and that was the women's match. Even though it could have been, even though it wasn't all that bad, even though it wasn't the best, but storyline progression throughout the night. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso continue to carry this show. They're the faces of the show right now, and definitely some progression towards the pay-per-view. So not really much more to say on this. I think MF nailed it perfectly. And the surprise return of Cutler and Blake. I mean, I didn't even know who those guys were. And then MF cleared it up. I'm like, wow, okay. Nice surprise. So that's all there is to say on that. About 7.5. That's about right. So not much more to say. Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 7 to 7.5 for me as well. So there's really nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with the rating. Definitely storyline progression. Definitely great pace, great writing for this one. They actually pulled off what SmackDown is notorious for. So, yeah, I'm not going to add much more. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, so before we get into the Mikey's Mindset, Anthony Florio, you're absolutely right. We're going to get into the preview for NXT War Games. It goes down this Sunday night. So let's start it off. We're going to do Timothy Thatcher goes one-on-one with Tommaso Ciampa. This is kind of a last-minute thrown match. I don't think there's really much on an emphasis here. I'm going to go with Timothy Thatcher. I think Thatcher probably deserves this more than Tommaso Ciampa. So I'm going to go with Thatcher to win the match over Ciampa. Anthony, it's yours.
Let's not forget, this is going to be one hell of a hoss fight. I mean,
yeah, no doubts.
This has "Be a Man" fight written all over it, and anybody who doesn't think that, well, I vehemently disagree with you on that. But this is tough. I mean, I would love to see Thatcher get it, honestly, because you know how high I am on him. I mean, he's got that old school technical brute style that I love so much, and I would love to see him get it, no question. But at the end, though, I mean, here's the thing. It's been almost 2 years since Tommaso Ciampa won a singles match on an NXT takeover. And for that reason alone, I'm going to take a chance and go with Tommaso Ciampa, though Timothy Thatcher could benefit more from the win. So I'm going to go with the experience. I'm going to go with Tommaso Ciampa. But if Thatcher wins, I wouldn't be surprised. So not much more to say. Let's throw it now to Mr. NXT, Michael Bullock. I mean, this is your show, man. So what a hoss fight you got here with Thatcher and Ciampa.
Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be one heck of a fight here. When you got two guys like Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. So yeah, I cannot wait to see this go down. So yeah, so I'm gonna go with I'm actually gonna go with Tommaso Ciampa to win it as well. So yeah, so there's nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ciampa as well. So it's yours, Fletch.
So wait a minute. Did I just am I a lone wolf in this, or is somebody else? Did somebody else join me on?
You're lone wolfing.
Ow! All right, lone wolf on that one. All right. So with that said, we're gonna do the next one. Dexter Lumis goes up against Cameron Grimes in a strap match. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
Wow. The question is, though, will it be as good as the greatest strap match MF and I ever saw, which was the legendary Caribbean strap match with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Savio Vega. I don't know if it'll be anything that good, but at the end, there will be no escape for Cameron Grimes Sunday night. Both superstars will be strapped together this time. The only way to win is to consecutively touch all 4 turnbuckles, dragging your opponent as it goes. And a win here could thrust the Technical Savage into the title picture for the first time in months. But a victory for Loomis seems more likely. So I'm going to go with Dexter Loomis to win this match. So, Michael Bullock, who do you like in this strap match?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go I'm going to go with Dexter Loomis as well. I mean, yeah, I mean, I just don't see how. I just don't see how how Cameron Grimes can win this one. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Dexter Loomis wins. So, Dee Woodson, it's yours.
I'm gonna go ahead and go on a limb and say Grimes because he needs the win more, but I would not be surprised if Loomis wins it. So it's yours, Fletch.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with Dee Woodson here. I'm gonna say Cameron Grimes steals it. I think what's gonna happen is I think it's gonna be one of those 3-3s where one corner comes left, and I think Cameron Grimes is gonna steal the victory. I think he's either gonna back his way into the corner and touch the fourth and win it, or he's gonna do something sneaky and overpower Dexter Loomis. So I'm with Didi on this one. We're gonna split decision this one at 2-2, and I'm gonna go with Cameron Grimes to steal it over Dexter Loomis. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, but I think he's gonna try to steal his way to this victory. So that's what I'm gonna say with that. All right, next up we got, this is the big one, guys. NXT North American title on the line. Triple threat rules. Triple threat match. The champion, Leon Ruff, against Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest. Michael Bullock, you lead off. Who walks away with the belt?
Whew, man, this is a tough one here. I mean, the whole underdog story with Leon Ruff. He's not been given a chance here. Of course, when he won it from Johnny Gargano, and of course now it looks like Damian Priest, he wants that title back. So, yeah, this is definitely going to be a good one. But, whew, man, I think some way, I just got this feeling. I'm going to go with Leon Ruff to retain the North American Championship. He's going to find some way to get it done. But it would not surprise me if either Johnny Gargano or Damian Priest walks out with the belt. But I got this feeling Leon Ruff is going to retain the title. Dee Woodson, what says you?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that one. I think Ruff will walk away with it, but I wouldn't be surprised if the other two walk away with it either. So it's yours, Fletch.
I'm going to say Leon Ruff wins. I agree with you guys. I think Leon Ruff is going to win the match. I think he's going to somehow keep the belt. Anthony, it's yours.
Absolutely. Just a couple quick things here. This match has the potential to steal the show. All 3 guys are supremely talented and share great chemistry. Johnny Wrestling making his 18th takeover appearance, NXT record for him. And Leon Ruff has been the underdog story we never knew we wanted. But now the plucky upstart has the tall task of trying to hold on to the gold, and he must prove the doubters wrong and show that he is a true champion. Though Ruff has become a little too big for his boots and of course his belt, he will likely overcome the odds. He probably won't hold the belt for too long, but he is still very early into his title reign. Gargano and Priest will probably become preoccupied with each other. So Ruff could sneak away with a win by the skin of his teeth. So I agree. Winner and still NXT North American champion, Leon Ruff. I don't think there's anything else more to say except MF. Let's go to war.
It is War Games, the match beyond. Here we go. All right, now, if you've never seen War Games in your life, and this is the first time that you're going to get to see War Games, allow me to explain the rules very briefly, and then we'll get into the two matches. War Games starts with two individuals, one on each team, inside two rings with a steel cage above them. So, the way that the start matches, it's one-on-one. There's a 5-minute period in that first period. After the 5 minutes has expired, traditionally a coin toss is determined. However, a match was already predetermined on both the men's and the women's. The winners of that match gets to send out their second individual. That will last for 2 minutes. After the 2 minutes had expired, then another person from the opposite team, from the losing team of that match, sends their second individual, makes it 2-on-2. They alternate all remaining periods, that's 2 minutes apiece, until all 8 individuals are in the cage. At that point, the match beyond begins. Now, traditionally, in the War Games, match were ended by either submission or surrender. But in this War Games, you can end a match by pinfall, submission, or surrender. All decisions are made by head referee that will be inside the ring. There are 2 referees outside of the ring at the doorway, and there's 2 referees on each of the rings. Once you get into the match beyond, there's a referee in ring number 1 and a referee in ring number 2, and at that point, if a pinfall or submission happens in that ring, the match is over and that team wins War Games. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the matches for War Games. Starting with the women. Team Candice LeRae versus Team Shotzi Blackheart. The participants for Team Candice LeRae: Captain Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Toni Storm. Team Shotzi Blackheart: team leader and captain Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and the NXT Women's Champion, the Diamond in the Sky, Io Shirai. Didi Woodson, it is your honor to lead off on War Games. Who wins for the women?
I'm going to go with Candice LeRae's team, so I'm not going to say anything else, so it's yours.
Wow. I'm actually a little surprised. Well, you know what? I think it would be more fitting that Candice does win, that her team does win the War Games. Now, I wonder how they're going to play this out, but I'm actually going to agree with Didi Woodson on this one. For once, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to say, actually, no. I'm going to disagree. Because I think Io Shirai is going to rise up and she's going to be the one that takes the moment here. I think because I got something else in mind. So, for me, I'm going to go with Team Shotzi Blackheart to win War Games. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, Dee makes a great point. I mean, because the face team has the advantage because Shotzi Blackheart won that advantage match. Shotzi did on Wednesday night on this past Wednesday night on NXT, and the personal rivalry between Candice LeRae and Shotzi Blackheart reaches the boiling point. This feud will culminate in a War Games match, a la William Regal, and this stems all the way back to the Halloween Havoc special. And the amount of star power involved in this War Games makes one argument clear. And it's one that we've made on this show several times, and we're never going to get tired of saying it. NXT has the best women's division in professional wrestling right now, hands down. The bad blood between the groups should lead to a brutal match. Team Candice could certainly walk away victorious, but the super babyface team getting revenge over LeRae's army makes the most sense here. Either way, expect some sort of shenanigans in this bout. Maybe Indy Hartwell will get involved in an effort to help LeRae, but Team Shotzi is more than equipped to manage any threat, and that's a legitimate super team. So I am going to go with Team Shotzi Blackheart to win this women's War Games match. So, Michael Bullock, only fitting you wrap it up. So who wins the first of our 2 War Games matches?
Yeah, I gotta go with Team Shotzi, Blackheart. I mean, they have the far superior team. I mean, you look at the names, like Fletch mentioned. You got Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai. So there's really nothing more to say. So I'm actually gonna go with Team Shotzi to win the first of the 2 War Games. So, Fletch, let's get on to the next one. And this is the one I'm really looking forward to.
Yup, it is. Team Pat McAfee and friends versus the Undisputed Era. Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, Oney Lorcan versus Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Bobby Fish. Alright, this is the one that everybody's been waiting for. Now, for months, we've seen, everybody's been wondering what the storyline was going to go with this one. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, they become the new 4 horsemen of the War Games. Every War Games that has happened, they have been involved in this match. They've won a couple of War Games. They've lost a War Games in this format. McAfee's in it for the first time. Dunn's in it for the second time. Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, this is their first time in War Games. They are not very known in this environment. So I kind of feel like this is going to be a very interesting dilemma. Plus, McAfee's team has the advantage. They got the man up going into the match. Now, anybody would say, clearly, Undisputed Era should win War Games. And I truly believe that they will. Any other time, I wouldn't say this. However, I think there's an ace up the sleeve that Pat McAfee has not pulled yet. And I believe there's a bomb that's about to get dropped. I think for the longest time we were talking about maybe a split of the Undisputed Era. I think we're going to see it at War Games. I think Red Dragon is going to turn on Roderick Strong. I think they're going to turn their back on Roderick Strong and Adam Cole. Because think about it. Roderick Strong and Adam Cole were the baby faces, where Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish were definitely acting a little more heel-like. prior to the War Games, leading up. I think they're going to want to establish that. So, for me, now I wouldn't be surprised if Undisputed Era wins this. And I wouldn't be surprised. But this storyline has to continue. And I think that Pat McAfee is going to turn into the ultimate manipulator. I'm actually going out on a limb. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. McAfee and the crew wins War Games, stuns Michael Bullock, stuns the NXT universe, and will definitely send Bullock into a fitting rage. But I don't care. I think this is going to be their moment. For me, I'm going to throw it out there. Pat McAfee and his crew wins War Games because Red Dragon turns on Undisputed Era. I'm going to call for a major upset. I'm going to call for a major turn, a major heel turn. Anthony, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I just kind of feel like if there's a great opportunity for a heel turn or for a implosion within the Undisputed Era, why not it be in the ultimate match?
Certainly. I mean, there is a very realistic possibility they could win this match. In what is very likely going to be the main event, Pat McAfee and Adam Cole will meet in a climactic battle. Their long simmering issues date back to TakeOver 30, where the former NFL All-Pro squared off against Cole in his first wrestling match. McAfee lost, but he impressed the WWE Universe with his athleticism and in-ring prowess. Since then, McAfee has personally targeted the Undisputed Era. In fact, he has joined forces with some of the best technicians in the industry. He has teamed up with the new NXT Tag Team Champions, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, and the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. This new faction will have a chance to prove that they run NXT. They will also give their established opponents their toughest competition in their War Games. On the other hand, the members of the Undisputed Era are legends in NXT. Decorated is an understatement when it comes to these four men. This team by far has the most experience in the cage. They're now heading into their fourth War Games match in 4 years. Still, the quartet will face an uphill battle after the Bruiserweight secured the War Games advantage when he beat Kyle O'Reilly. This match could go either way, but it's safer to be on the fence with this one. Undisputed Era hasn't won at War Games in 3 years. It would be nice to see them reign supreme on Sunday and prove why they are the true kings of NXT. For right now, I'm going with the Undisputed Era, mainly because of the booking here. Anytime the heels get the advantage in a War Games match, 9 times out of 10, the babyface team almost always wins. So in this case, I'm going to go with the Undisputed Era. But if the Kings of NXT win this match, I would not at all be surprised. So that's all there is to say on that. I'm going with the Undisputed Era for now. So, Michael Bullock, we all know who you're going with, but give us your thought anyway.
Yeah, this is the War Games that everyone is talking about. With the Undisputed Era, they've been waiting to get their hands on Pat McAfee and his crew, especially McAfee, since he was the one that started taking out every member of Undisputed Era. So, and like you said, anytime a team gets an advantage, the other team wins. So I'm going to go with Florio here. I'm going to go with the Undisputed Era, but yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson put a ball on the TakeOver preview.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with Undisputed Era. I wouldn't be surprised if the other team wins and they continue the feud, but, like you said, with the with Team McAfee getting the advantage, more likely it's going to be Undisputed Era. So I have nothing more to add. So I'm going to head out, guys. Good night.
All right, Didi, thank you so much as always. So, Anthony Floyo, why don't you come on in? Yeah, why don't we just set this up? So, start with the NXT. I'll give you my thoughts, and then we'll get into AEW.
Alrighty, sounds good. So, as you all know, in case you missed it, this past Wednesday night, we did Wednesday Night Mayhem. MF couldn't be on the show because of reasoning beyond his control, um, which was a damn shame because it is what it is. But anyways, let's get into NXT here, and then we'll get into the AEW. So started off with the NXT. This is for MF only because Bullock and I already gave our thoughts. We had a tag team match. North American champion Leon Ruff and Damian Priest versus Cruiserweight champion Santos Escobar and Raul Mendoza. Winners of the match in 12 minutes and 21 seconds, Leon Ruff and Damian Priest. So MF, your thoughts?
Well, I'm just going to say that this was a solid match. I could say easily 3 stars. I think it could have been a lot more better, but I thought it served its purpose, and I have nothing bad to say. So let's just move right on along.
Then we had a cutout. Cameron Grimes defeating August Gray in 2 minutes and 21 seconds.
Okay.
So that's a dud. We're going to get into that. Jake Atlas versus Tony Nese. Jake Atlas winning the match in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Do you want to get into this, MF? Or you do
fun little sprint, like you always would say, Anthony. 2 stars.
All right. Then we had an in-ring segment with the Kings of NXT, McAfee, Dunn, Lorcan, and Birch. Pat McAfee, money promo, wouldn't you say?
Oh, without a doubt. Pat McAfee has become one of the best talkers. I enjoy his show every day on YouTube, and he is always money on the mic. He's very articulate. He's very quality. He's made for professional wrestling. He's done an amazing job doing what he's been doing. So, yeah, no, I got nothing bad to say. Pat McAfee, A+ as usual.
And then we had something you would see out of NXT UK on NXT USA. The Grizzled Young Veterans against Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner of Imperium. The match ends in a no contest at 10 minutes and 47 seconds because of interference from my favorite, Everrise.
Oh,
ham and eggers.
Oh, no. Well,
bunch of ham and eggers.
Look, good match while it lasted. This would have been easily 2.5 to 3, but because of the throwout, it's an NA automatic.
Obviously. Then there was a Timothy Thatcher thing. We don't need to get into that.
Okay.
And then the main event, the ladder match for the advantage in the women's War Games match. Shotzi Blackheart squaring off against Raquel Gonzalez. And Shotzi Blackheart wins the match for her team at 14 minutes and 37 seconds.
Obviously, fight of the night. I could give this 3 to 3.5 stars. Very good match. I think it was a little bit surprising, but again, we're talking about the best women in wrestling today. The NXT women, they deliver again. I really got nothing bad to say. As far as overall review goes, this is about a 7 out of 10. I think it was a solid show. It was pretty good. Yeah, unfortunately, there was a couple of fights that weren't I wish we could have back. But, I mean, it did some storyline progression. It told a good story, at least with the tag team fight, as it relates to the North American title situation. Pat McAfee putting over the War Games for the men, and then the women absolutely getting the main event spot, most deservingly getting the main event spot, and then tearing the house down with their match. So I really got nothing bad to say. This was an incredible show. 7 out of 10 for me for NXT.
All right, and now to the highly anticipated AEW Dynamite. Winner is coming. Oh, did it come? It came in next. That's all I can say. We started it off with the Battle Royale for the Dynamite Diamond. When all was said and done, of course, we all know the rules. The two men, the final two, will do battle for the Dynamite Diamond. And The time was 12 minutes and 51 seconds, and the final two, and battling it out for the Dynamite Diamond on the next AEW Dynamite next week. The reigning Dynamite Diamond holder, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, but he's going to have an uphill battle because he's going to have to put that diamond on the line against freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy.
Oh boy. Look, solid match, good start. I'll give this 3 stars, but I don't know how this is going to play out. I'm a little concerned that MJF is going to steal it and keep the diamond. However, if for some reason Orange Cassidy wins this will be the biggest win of his career. This would be the monumental moment for Orange Cassidy, and that would put him well up in the rankings to get an opportunity at the AEW World Title if he should beat Maxwell Jacob Friedman next week. So, yeah, nothing more to say. It's yours.
All right. Did you give a rating?
3 stars.
3 stars. Okay. This is a dream match that I would have loved to have seen many years ago, especially when these two guys were in their prime. With one guy being in the WWE and the other being an Impact TNA and a TNA Impact Wrestling original and a pioneer of the X Division. We had Chris Jericho squaring off against Frankie Kazarian, and Chris Jericho won the match in 10 minutes and 34 seconds. But after the match, MF, major dissension among the inner circle, and Jericho put it out there. He said he was sick and tired of the BS, and he says next week there's going to be an ultimatum: either we get along and we work as a team, or else the inner circle is done forever.
Well, this is going to be very interesting to see. 2.5 stars for the match. I thought this was a good fight. Like you said, this is one of those where I wish we could have seen this years ago.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
we could have seen a lot better match. I mean, it was fine for what it was worth, but like you said, the inner circle situation has really exploded, and I mean, oh my goodness, what that could be next week, what that could turn out to be. So we'll wait and see what happens, but yeah, nothing more to say. It's yours.
Yeah, I mean, Jericho when he was in the WWE, and Frankie Kazarian when he was the X Division pioneer 15 years ago.
Oh yeah.
This would have been 4.5 to 5 easy if they had done it. But hey, at least we got it, so that's all we can say. Women's match: Dr. Britt Baker with Reba, or as we best know her, Rebel from Impact, and Britt Baker went up against legit Leela Hirsch. Dr. Britt wins the match via the lockjaw submission, 9 minutes and 19 seconds. But after the match, MF, your girl, Thunder Rosa, she went after Dr. Britt. Oh
yeah, it's about to go down. It's about to go down between these two. It was a solid match. 2.5 stars. Obviously, the women still not that strong. However, a Thunder Rosa versus Dr. Britt Baker match, that actually got me a little intrigued as it relates to AEW. So finally, we might have a matchup that might at least give a little bit of a jolt for the women's division, but we'll just have to wait and see. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
And I just have a quick thing from the world of college football. The number 25 Louisiana Raging Cajuns have stolen one at Appalachian State. They've won it 24-21. App State was going for a game-tying field goal, and they missed it.
Oh!
And you know what was even worse? It was a chip shot. They missed a chip shot.
Oh, but, no. Oh, my goodness.
But in fairness, it's the weather is not ideal. It's a rainy, mucky night. So, but
was it like windy as well? Was it windy?
Oh yeah, it looks like it was shanked.
Okay, all right.
I think the wind definitely got a hold of it.
Then that's a free. You can get a pass on that one if it was like more like a clear night and there was no wind and he just straight missed it, then we would be crushing them. But if it was like bad weather, windy, rainy, and he missed it because of the wind,
Yeah.
then I would then that's more of an understandable.
Yep. But nonetheless, number 25, Louisiana. Very tough test. They had to go into Appalachian State, and they got it done. 24-21. Big win for Louisiana. So,
All right.
so not much more to say there. All right. This is where the bleep hits the fan, literally, right here. It was tag team match. Cody Rhodes and the TNT champion Darby Allin squaring off against Team Taz members Absolute Ricky Starks and the newest member of Team Taz, Powerhouse Hobbs. Darby Allin, Cody Rhodes, they win the match in 10 minutes and 32 seconds. After the match, Team Taz was getting ready to go off on Cody and Darby, but then the lights go out. We see wind and we see snow. And MF, look who is now under All Elite Wrestling contract. None other than the Hall of Famer himself, the icon, as Tony Schiavone put it, it's Sting.
Yes, I know. A lot of people were stunned. The internet exploded.
It broke.
With Sting arriving at AEW. Yeah, this was a shocker. Some people were ecstatic, but a lot of people were slamming this though, Anthony. There was a few people on the internet that absolutely crushed AEW for this, saying that why do you bring Sting? He has nothing left in his tank. Is he there as a manager? Is he there for what's the reason why is he there? I guess that's the big question for all of us is what's Sting's business? Why is he in AEW? I think that's one thing that we need to wait and see.
Multi-year
Hopefully,
deal.
huh?
It's a multi-year deal, and from what I'm hearing, he's not going to really do much wrestling.
If he's there to mentor a Darby Allin,
That's what
I'm for it. I'm all for that. I think that'd be the perfect thing for Sting. To be a mentor, to be a manager, not a wrestler. Because let's be realistic, his last great match was about maybe 15 years ago. He doesn't have what it is in the tank anymore to be a wrestler. But to be a manager and maybe a guide for a guy like Darby Allin would be absolute wonders what they're going to do. So I think it would be great for them, to say the very least. So yeah, I got really nothing more to say. This is going to be incredible. I'm ecstatic. I'm very happy to see it. There's really nothing more to say. The match itself was about 3 stars, but the whole shock and the thing for Sting to show up, oh my god.
All right. Before we get to the main event, I'm gonna need some 96, 97 JR knowledge from you on this.
Okay.
When I say the words Don Callis and Kenny Omega, what do you know about that?
Their friendship stems back from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
Don Callis was one of the lead commentators for New Japan for the English.
Yep.
And he had a very close relationship with not just Kenny Omega, but he also has a close relationship with Chris Jericho. So their friendship goes back to about 15 to 20 years. So their friendship is really deep.
Uh-huh. Okay. Because Don Callis sat in on commentary, because we all know what Don Callis does commentary for Impact Wrestling, and
Yep.
but he's also one half of that 2-headed monster that's running the show nowadays. Him and Scott D'Amore,
Yep.
who's that they're the 2 head honchos in Impact Wrestling nowadays. And but anyways, it leads into the main event, the most anticipated match in the history of AEW Dynamite since its inception on October the 2nd of 2019. For the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, the champion, Jon Moxley, whose reign at that moment sat at 277 days, defending the title against the number one contender, the winner of the big tournament, Kenny Omega. The winner of the match in 28 minutes and 31 seconds, and the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, the cleaner, Kenny Omega, but not without help from Don Callis. And then after the match, Callis and Omega ran away like scalded dogs, like JR would say. But then Alex Marvez, right place, right time, he caught him. And he was like, what's going on here? What's the meaning of this? And Don Callis like, we'll tell you all on Tuesday night. He's like, Tuesday? We're on Wednesday. And he says, oh no. Don Callis went on to drop the nuke, the bomb. This Tuesday night, and it is confirmed, this Tuesday night on Impact Wrestling on Access TV, the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Kenny Omega, is going to be on the show. MF, what is going on here?
AEW and Impact Wrestling are going to be working together. That's what's going on. AEW is now going to have a working relationship with Impact Wrestling. And not only is this going to benefit... Well, here's the thing. AEW did not need this. Impact Wrestling is going to benefit exponentially.
Big time.
With this move. Because that means the Young Bucks, Cody, Darby, Kenny, and all the top stars of AEW might be coming to Impact Wrestling, but not only does it help the men, the AEW women will now possibly get to fight Jordynne Grace, Taya Valkyrie, Rosemary, Su Yung, maybe a Madison Rayne. Madison Rayne has worked with AEW before when they worked with the All In.
Don't forget Deonna Purrazzo, and don't forget your girl Kimberly.
Exactly. So this is a major move for the AEW women, because now the AEW women are going to be fighting possibly with the Impact Wrestling women, with the Knockouts. And we already know how great the Knockouts are. We've already established that the Knockouts of Impact Wrestling is probably maybe in the top 3 of the best women's wrestling divisions in all of wrestling right now.
Yes.
So
absolutely,
this is without a doubt the perfect partnership for both companies. Now,
absolutely.
But the reason why this is happening was because, and I just found this out from Bill McConnell, AEW was on the verge of working with New Japan Pro Wrestling, but the deal fell through. That's why. Because AEW and New Japan had something in the works. And for some odd reason, I don't know who backed out. I think it was New Japan that backed out. And New Japan left AEW in the dust. Well, AEW called Don Callis, and this happened. We're going to know more about it on Tuesday night, which now makes Impact Wrestling the most must-watch program this Tuesday night.
Oh my God.
This is going to become one of those nights that you're going to want to watch Impact Wrestling. For all you fans out there, for all you fans, if you got Access TV, watch it.
I do.
If you don't got Access TV, you better get your asses to Twitch on the Impact Wrestling Twitch channel, because this will become the most highly rated event in the recent memory of Impact Wrestling. I've never been more hyped for an Impact Wrestling show in about 10 years.
Wow.
This is one of the biggest nights for Impact Wrestling because what might happen next. This is without a doubt. The match itself was 5 stars. I don't know if you guys, what did you rate it 5 stars or did you get 4 3/4?
We gave it about we gave it between 4.25 to 4.5 because of the ending.
Okay,
But it was still the fight of the night though.
which I agree. All right, then I agree with that. I will give this 4.5 to 4 3/4, but I will not give it the full 5 because of the ending. I agree.
Yeah, agreed.
That's fair. But this was an amazing fight. This was an amazing match. Maybe if they didn't do that ending, this would have been fight of the year.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
don't think it gets it. But this was a damn great match. This was a damn good battle, and I got really nothing more to say. As far as overall rating goes, this is easily 8 to 8.5 for me. This was an excellent show. This had everything that it needed it to be. Let's just close the show, and you know what, Anthony? I'll let you promote. NFL Saturday tomorrow. So it's all yours.
All right. One quick question. Any word on when we'll be doing the recap for Takeover War Games?
Sunday night, 10:30.
Sunday at 10:30. Okay. So there you heard it from MF. But before we get into that, will you be on tomorrow night, MF? Will you be on tomorrow night for NFL
Yes,
Saturday?
I will be on. I will be on tomorrow night.
Okay, very good. So tomorrow night we will have Week 13 of NFL Saturday. As we're gonna get into, there will be no Thursday recap because we didn't have a Thursday game, so we're just gonna dive right into the action. Another topsy-turvy schedule. That's all there is to say on that. So we'll get into all that tomorrow night. Sunday night, 10:30, we will have the recap of Takeover War Games. Monday, it'll be Ridiculously Raw with me. Off on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, the fallout from the Epic Dynamite on AEW and the fallout from War Games on NXT. And then college football Thursday, and then right back here with MF next week for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. The first show from the new Thunderdome at Tropicana Field. Can you imagine what that's going to be like? Oh my goodness, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it. So that's it. And that's pretty much it. So MF, put a bow on this thing.
I want to thank Anthony Florio. I want to thank Michael Bullock. I want to thank Dee Woodson as always. I'm thanking you guys as well. This was an incredible night. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. Thank you guys as always. You guys are the best. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow for NFL Saturday. For all of us here, so long, everybody.